What's up, everybody? This is podcast Gameoverse episode 179 for Thursday, May the 16th. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined as always by Rick. What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Rick. I'm here, you're here. We're all here to talk about video games. Some stuff happened this week. We're going to get to it. Let's start where you always start, man. Tell people what you've been playing.
Diablo IV Loot 2.0.
I have not had a chance to try that yet. Is it good? Good?
Yes.
Diablo's back?
Diablo's back.
Diablo's back, baby.
So, Season 4 launched with, it's called Loot Reborn, not Loot 2.0. The joke is, if you don't get it, I'm going to explain it. The joke is that they did the same thing in Diablo 3, and they called it Loot 2.0.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when that game launched, it was the same shit, and they called it Loot 2.0. It's like, it's almost as if, they didn't learn at all from their mistakes, and so they just did the same fucking shit. But anyway, complete overhaul of the loot system from the ground up, almost. Way too much shit to explain here. I was just play the fucking game, because it's like, it's way better now. It's way better in terms of just how the looting and gear works. Even the aspect system, they've overhauled to the point where I'm like, yeah, this is how it should have been from the beginning.
That's good. It's really good. I'm gonna try it out then. Maybe tonight. What's the bed?
Yeah, this is it's just a double-edged sword here, because on one hand, it's the best season yet, right?
All right.
It is the best season yet. But
all right, not seeing a downside yet, but continue.
That's only because it's literally just season 2. It's the vampire shit, but it's like literally just that, but the Hell Tides. The Hell Tides is now what that vampire shit used to be.
That's
basically.
Good. I like that shit.
It's good, but that's like all it is. So it's literally just that. You're just doing the Hell Tide shit over and over.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
It's fine. It's fun. Like they made the shit fun, but it's repetitive.
Dude,
that's all.
Listen,
it's just repetitive.
Listen. All right, listen. I'm a grown man. Got a full-time job. Child. Maybe I just want to turn my brain off and just fuck up some Hell Tides for a little bit before I have to go to bed. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
no shade in that.
If that's all you want to do, then it's what's on offer here.
That is great, because that is exactly what I want to do.
There's just no gimmicks. I like the gimmicks. Even, the construct shit with the little robot spider thing. I was like, at least this is something different. Like, I didn't care for all the trap mechanics and all that. But at least, like, the spider thing was different and unique and gave you something to do. Whereas
like another bar to fill up, or another like skill tree to work on.
Yeah, just some way to like customize. Yeah, just something different. This is just literally do the Hell Tides, and that's it.
Yeah,
but again, they've redone all the looting system, so that's it. That is another thing to kind of get into. It's a lot more different. Very different than it was. I went with another rogue this time, but instead of a melee rogue, I'm fucking with a bow. And another thing. That's another thing. I feel like they've overtuned this game a little bit in the other direction, to where I feel like I'm way more powerful than I should be. In like a bad way. Like, it just feels like nothing stands a fucking chance. I've melted. I remember the first time I did the Cathedral of Light. It's like the dungeon you have to do to unlock Nightmare mode. I remember the first time I did that, the very first time I did that with my sorcerer, it took me fucking hours to like solo it. It took me hours. And then I got to like the second part and I was like, there's a whole nother fucking section to this. That was my attitude And then I did, and then I went. I finally got to the boss, and almost killed it. It took me like hours. It took me like 5 hours. Not that long, but it took me a very long time to do that
Yeah.
solo with my first sorcerer. Now with this fucking thing, dude, I damn near one shot at the boss at the end. Like it was fucking insane, and I'm like one shotting all these bosses. Now maybe it's just like my build is way better, but it's insane. It is insane how
That's probably it. It's probably like because they tune the loot system, so it's easier to get the affixes you want, and there aren't any more of those like garbage affixes. I
yeah.
assume it'd be a lot easier to just like if you're not too even if you're not like super paying attention to like your build or affixes you get, you can still get some pretty good shit. Like just playing through the game without having to like really loot grind too much.
Yeah. Well, because they brought in a lot of the vampire affixes too. So a lot
Oh,
of
sweet.
vampire abilities, yeah, a lot of those vampire abilities are straight up just
Legendary
legendary
fixes.
affixes. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I have a bunch of those on. Like it's insane. It's insane how powerful you can get. I'm just
That's
breezing through
good.
this shit. My health bar is not moving an inch, and I'm just terrorizing these demons, man. It's like insane. It's fun, but I'm wondering if like not even trying. I'm not even trying, and it's still just melting these assholes. So
Bro, I'm
that's
into it. Honestly, I'm into it. That sounds awesome. Like, bring it
yeah,
on. That's what I've been waiting for, man.
yeah.
I've been
So
waiting for this game to become this like insane, just mob melting game. I love doing that,
yeah,
and
and
it
they've
feels like it
added
gets that way
more.
faster.
They've added
Sorry.
more end game challenges, so I
Yeah.
guess that's what you're building for. Is like there's like a new league mode. There's like a ranking system. So that's probably what you're building towards is to start doing that stuff at the end game. But yeah, it's just it's crazy because yeah, when you're doing the Helltide stuff, there is like a little. It's the same thing as the vampire shit. You have like tiers of ranks that you're accumulating, and then you can cash those ranks in for loot, and then
I
that
like
loot is
that.
like yeah, that loot you get from that is better than anything you ever fucking find as a drop. It's so good.
I like that. I
But
like that a lot.
yeah, the Diablo is good again. So if you've been away for a while, I would suggest let's just fucking with it because it's good again. So um
That's great. I am so happy to hear that. Like I've been I've been like wanting to get back into it, but I'm playing like two other games right now, so my time's very limited, especially with like again being a full-time adult, having a kid.
yeah.
So it's good that like I can hop into this. It sounds like I'm gonna have a pretty solid time from the beginning.
Also played. I got this game like it was on discount, so I was like, it was like the only game. It was the only Final Fantasy game I didn't have in my library. So I was like, it's cheap now, so I'll get it. And that's Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins.
We have been kind of memeing on this game for a little bit. We talked about getting it for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you got it. How is it?
Um, it's crazy. This is the most PS3 game I've ever played
Yeah.
since the PS3 came out.
Yeah, it looks like early 2000s as fuck this game. Like
Yeah.
honestly
Um,
like late 2000s, early 2010s. Like
yeah, it's kind of like nostalgic in that way, but it's not at all a PS3 game. But like
yeah.
it looks like one.
Yeah, I know what you
And
mean. Like
like
it's the vibe, man. It's the vibe, the way the characters dress, the way they talk. Like it's
no,
got that like
I'm even talking like the graphically.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
FMVs are very bad quality wise. I'm
Oh
like, dude,
yeah.
they must have started making this on PS3 and just it took way too long and they just decided to just bring it over. without updating anything, because that's exactly how it feels. Like all the quality wise, this game looks like a PS3 game and feels like one.
I don't know, man. I for the stuff I've seen, it doesn't look like that to me at all. But
Yeah,
it's more the vibe for me that like I'm getting.
yeah. I mean,
Just
the
the
vibe as
dialogue,
well.
characters, the way the characters talk to each other, like
And
even the
yeah,
way
so
they do dresses, like
that's the other thing is the gameplay is so when you see this game, it looks like a Devil May Cry or like a beat 'em up or something. That's what it looked like. And that's what I thought it was before I played it.
yeah, it's like
And
a Souls like.
it's a Souls game. It's a bonfire game,
Yeah, it's like
which
an RPG ass Souls like. It's the same guys that did Neo, so
so it's and that's exactly. Oh, is it the same guys that did Neo?
yeah, Team Ninja, right? Or Koei Tecmo.
Well, no, it's like straight. I think it's straight Square Enix.
I thought like Koei Tecmo like helped like co-develop it or something. Or am I just tripping?
Maybe I don't know if they're labeled on it though, but
Yeah,
yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense if they were. Oh yeah, it does say that. It does say that.
do
Interesting.
it.
Okay.
My
Yeah,
kid
it
keeps
does say
climbing on
that.
top of the couch. He's gonna like fall over himself, but he doesn't stop. I keep getting him off. Like I pick him up, I take him off the couch, and he's just like he like yells at me. I just want to let him. I just one day I'm just gonna let him like fall, and then he'll learn his lesson.
But yeah, okay. So the Koei Tecmo thing makes a lot of sense because
Yeah.
it is straight up Neo 2. It has a bunch of weapon types. You're just dropping loot constantly. You never have any time to actually look at your loot. So there's like an optimize button. So it's like every 5 minutes, you just go into the menu, hit optimize. It'll just equip whatever the best shit you have is, and you'll just keep playing. You never have any time to actually like look at anything. And then the story just kind of just happens. It's like a prequel to Final Fantasy 1, and the story just like happens. I feel like it doesn't explain shit. It just expects you to know what the fuck is good. Like it doesn't explain anything. It doesn't explain who the characters are. It doesn't explain the universe. It doesn't explain what anyone's goal is or how anyone has the powers that they have. All they have is like they just have these eggs and they just show everyone, oh, you got an egg too? Yeah, I got an egg, man. Well, we should be friends. Okay. And they just start adventuring together. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And you run into someone else like, oh, you have an egg too. You should join us. We're the egg guys. And I just don't understand. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like everything I just explained right there is what they explain basically through cutscenes. Like there's
That is
no
like exactly how I felt playing fucking Final Fantasy 13 for the first time. Because everyone they just drop like adjectives and nouns on each other. I don't know what the fuck they mean.
yeah. Chaos. We have to destroy chaos. And it's like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is chaos? Like, what are you guys? Where do these
No,
eggs
I'm
come
a
from?
foul seed. He's a pulse foul seed. Like I should
Yeah,
know what that shit means. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Like I know exactly what you mean. Like
I mean, at least that game like eventually starts explaining shit. Like it doesn't. It starts that way where it's like you don't know what the fuck's going on, but at least like that game eventually starts explaining shit. This game,
yeah, eventually after like 5-6 hours. Like
this game, I don't know. I don't think they explain shit. So,
people, by the way, side note, people argue like, well, Final Fantasy 13 explains it eventually. Like, yeah, after I finish fucking Googling it, because it takes for fucking ever for the game to explain what's going on.
yeah. I mean, that game does have a codex too. This game does not. And yeah, I played a few hours of it. So if you're interested in that, you go on the youtube.com/gameoverse and check that out.
Shit.
Uncle Dolph was with me while I was playing this. He played a lot of this, and he quite enjoys this game. I'm not that sold on it, but I was playing on easy mode only because it defaulted to easy.
Oh yeah,
So
like, that
like
game knew what it's doing. Like it knows its audience, knows who's gonna play it.
yeah, So, but I think it's just a little too like it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't match what it wants you to do. Like it's like a Neo game, but at least in Neo, it never really throws like 20 enemies at you. Like this game wants you to play it like a Devil May Cry, but it's a Souls game, so you take a lot of damage. You have low health, you have limited heals, and the enemies respawn when you die. So it's like I don't know. It puts you in combat scenarios that feel like a Devil May Cry in terms of like the enemy counts or just enemies can hit you from off screen. You know that fucking like third person action game bullshit where
Yeah.
there's enemies off the screen that can still hit you and there's like multiple motherfuckers. Like I feel like in a Souls game there should be no more than like 3 enemies because it's just too much to like juggle with.
I remember Bloodborne like throws a bunch of shit at you early on. Like you find like mobs of like angry mobs of like dudes.
Yeah, but it's like if you play it like a Souls game, you can kind of kite them like one at a time or maybe like two at a
A little
time.
bit. Oh my god,
This
kid.
game straight up would be like, here's 5 wolves, here's a guy over here spitting fire at you, and then also there's a griffin enemy that's like the boss. And you have to like fight him at the same time. All this other shit is fighting you. It's like what the fuck? Like you never have to fight a boss enemy at the same time as like 6 other motherfuckers unless he's like it's like a boss room and they specifically design it that way. But this game just doesn't give a fuck anyway. um you should check that out on the YouTube.
It looks fun. Like I might check it out. I'm gonna watch your YouTube play first, and then I'll check it out after. But it looks like
Yeah. um
I haven't been playing a lot. Like I'm still playing the same shit. So I'm still playing Fallout 4. That game's still fun as fuck. I don't care what people say about it. It's a fun game. Like
Did you get the patch?
yeah, I did, and it's the Enclave stuff is kind of whatever. I'm a little upset about the Enclave. It's literally just like I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's just been like, hey, here's a radio beacon, go follow it. Oh, there's a camp of Enclave guys, kill them. Oh, they have like a note on where their other base is. Go to that and kill them. And it's just been that
Yeah.
so far. The Enclave stuff they dropped is pretty cool, but I thought it would be. I didn't expect like a whole other faction to be introduced to the game, but like something, you know. It's kind of whatever. I haven't played any other stuff yet. I've looked into it though, and some of the other content stuff it gives looks pretty neat. One of them introduces a grenade launcher type weapon that looks pretty dope, and a baseball launcher. Like there's some cool shit in it, but it's mostly what it is like actual like weapon and armor stuff. There's not a lot of like real content. You know what I mean? Like quest lines and stuff.
Yeah.
And the ones that are there are, I've heard, just very bare bones basic, just to give you an excuse to get this stuff. But it's still a fun ass game, dude. Like I don't care what anyone says. Like it's still a fun game. And people who complain about the game's like companions, I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like the game has some great companions. Curie is so fucking cool. Like her alone like carries most of the game for. Like I don't know what people are talking about. They bitch about. A lot of the quests, I'll admit, are kind of. The quests individually are pretty neat, but the overall main quest, I remember feeling super rushed. Like I tried to do the New Vegas thing of like, oh, here's all these different factions. They're all so interesting, and they have their own like unique like philosophies on what you should do in the wasteland. And then you got to choose which faction you want to back when you get to the end of the game during this big like climactic fight. But it doesn't. I remember even like back then playing it, I was like, this is. The railroad is still super shitty. Like that hasn't changed. Like the railroad still kind of sucks. Like they have no like plans for the wasteland other than save all synths. And it's like, okay, great, but how about we like help people? And like, no, save all synths. And they even like argue, like Deacon, one of the companions you get, who's like part of the railroad, even he like complains, like, yeah, I wish we could help more people, but that's all they want to do is just like save synths.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like there's a lot to dislike about it, but goddamn, dude, the gunplay like feels so much better than the past couple games. VATS being a slow motion effect instead of a stop time effect just makes combat feel a lot more like impactful and with consequence. Now you can't just stop and like really think about what you want to do. You got to like react a little bit. All the skill trees are super interesting. They all have some cool shit in them. There's no like dump stat really in Fallout. Like even if you're trying to go for like a specific type of build, it's still in your interest to like put points in other stats because some of the bonuses that they give. Like luck is gonna be helpful for everybody just because the way it lets you like bank critical attacks. Even if you don't use VATS, you could still just get bloody mess, just get a free 15% boost of damage for like nothing. So the game's fun. Like the game's still a lot of fun. I don't care what anyone says. And Curie is like best girl, fight me. She is, dude. She's a fucking. She's a robot. You know, like a nanny robot, like Codsworth. But she was specifically built with like a custom intelligence system. So she's borderline like human. Like she's self-aware. And part of her quest is like making her human in means I don't want to spoil. And once you do it, it's just she's so much cooler after that. Because she's like trying to wrestle with the fact of like being a human, having to like remember to breathe now, and having emotions now she didn't before. It's so cool. Like it's such an interesting character, and no one talks about her. I don't know how like I've never like heard how interesting this character is until this playthrough. Like I never fought with her really in like my last couple games. But this time I'm like, okay, we'll see this companion through the end, see what happens. And I was surprised, like just how cool she.
There's a mod companion for New Vegas called Bad Motherfucker, and he's a super mutant, and all he says is motherfucker, 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 and it's great. He's like the best companion ever. And
I love that so much.
Yeah.
There's a robot in Diamond City who speaks Japanese, but he can only say like one word. I can't remember what he says, but he says like one word in Japanese. But what's fun is if you bring robot companions, they understand him. So like they'll talk to him and they'll turn back to you as like, oh yeah, his vocal system's malfunctioned.
Oh.
It's really fucking funny, yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back to Fallout 4. I haven't done any of the I don't even know if I finished that game. I think I got to the very end and then never finished it. But I didn't do any of the DLC or anything. I think I did the Mechanist.
The Mechanist is fun.
It's really
the Mechanist
small.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The Mechanist is small in the sense that like the quests it sends you on aren't that time consuming, but the content it adds is insane.
Yeah,
Being able to make robots that's a whole other game in itself in there, dude. It's insane. Like
yeah.
You can make an entire settlement of just robots with that if you want.
It's just that quest is pretty like natural. It's like just naturally built into the progression of the like if you have it installed from the beginning, you just fall into it. Like it just feels natural.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I like about it. It's not like Nuka World or like Fall Harbor or the Vault 81 quest where you have to like you get a radio signal. Well, you get a radio signal with this one, but it doesn't feel like DLC. Like it meshes in with the base game super well.
Yeah.
Like it's surprising how well it melds in. And it's a lot of fun. Like it's legitimately a lot of fun. If you have the Silver Shroud costume, because I guess in the world of Fallout, I haven't played the Mechanist quest in forever, and I haven't. I got the first part of it now, so I haven't played the rest of it. I've just been doing a bunch of other side quests and shit and fucking around with my settlements. But if you get the Silver Shroud costume, I remember like the quest is different. Like you can do the quest in character as a Silver Shroud, and it's hilarious. Yeah, those of you, if you know, you know. But yeah,
I
Fallout
don't
4 is
know.
dope, dude. Yeah, Fallout 4 is dope, man. I love Fallout 4. I don't care what anyone says. I also been playing Persona 5 Royal. Now, I have a weird history of Persona 5. I played the first Persona 5 to death. I got it at launch. I played it like religiously to the end, and then when I beat it, I replayed it. Like I love that game. Persona 5 Royal comes out, and I played it a lot right to the end. I got to the last dungeon, never finished. I can't remember why. So I got it on Switch. I'm replaying it right now, and like this is gonna be the time I beat it again because I have it on Switch now. So there's no excuse for me like not to play it. Even though I have a kid, I can play like when he's napping. I can play it like at my lunch breaks and stuff. Like I have more opportunities to play this game. I forgot how much stuff they added to Royal. Like really. I remember some of the really big sweeping changes in content. But there's a couple smaller things that I forgot about with this game, like how much the grappling hook like really changes the game up. For example, I forgot they tweaked the status effects system, so now you could like get a knockdown with certain combinations of status effects and certain attacks now. You don't just have to rely on like elemental weaknesses to do it. There's so much stuff in here I forgot about. And it's crazy just how much more they packed into this game. Like I'm going strictly based on what I remember from Persona 5 and seeing all this extra stuff in here, just like, oh wow, I forgot this was in here. Like it's crazy just how much more of a complete package Royal is versus. I wouldn't even say complete package. Like Persona 5 felt like a finished game, but Royal just fills in so much more empty space. It's seriously like it's bursting with stuff to do. Like it's crazy how much there is.
I need to
But
get
yeah,
back to this game, man. I
it's
don't know.
good.
It was just too long. It was too long
It's
for
a
me.
long fucking game. It's a long fucking game, dude. This is not a short game to be playing. Like it's a really long game. Like Royal's even longer. Like it adds an extra dungeon and there's just extra content here and there to like sift through too. A big problem with the original Persona 5 that I had is the game stopped you a lot. Like there's like a meme with the original Persona 5 where Morgana's like, "Oh, you should go to bed. There's something to do right now." And it's like, "Fuck you. I want to like make lockpicks or something." And it happens so much in the game. It's like kind of a meme now with the community. All that's pretty much like I remember that like being gone. Like those empty days where you're like, there's something to do. Like there's something to do now. Like in all of them. And the game adds so much extra stuff to it. Like it's so crazy how much more there is. Yeah, go play Persona 5 Royal. It's a long game though. Fucking the opening alone takes for fucking ever to get through, dude. Before the game like stops holding your hand, it takes forever.
Yeah.
It takes forever, and that's something that if that turns you off of it, I don't blame you. Like I know a lot of people who like picked it up and they're like, that first like 5+ hours is rough because you're not doing shit for it. You are just
Yeah.
watching cutscenes.
But it's good that it like just introduces you to all the characters and the world and stuff. So I
Yeah,
like the opening. It's just I was playing it on PS4, and so once I got past all of that and actually finally into the game proper, uh, like other stuff came out. I was playing it on PS4, which is like the shittiest version. It's on
yeah,
PC now, and I'm like, I gotta start over on PC, and I gotta do all that shit again.
yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
hard to get through, man. Like my dad saw me playing it one day and he wanted to try it. And this was like right when like Royal came out. So I was like, okay, cool. Here you can borrow my copy of Persona 5. Just play that. And if you like it, like I'll loan you Royal when I'm done with it. And like a week or two later, I messaged him. I was talking to him. I was like, hey, what do you think of Persona 5? And he's like, dude, I can't fucking get past that opening. He's like, I've tried it. He's like, I tried multiple different times to play it. I fall asleep. and I forgot what the fuck I was doing, so I started over. And one time I came over and I was like, I'll hang out and we'll get through it together, man. Like, we'll get through it. If you want to skip through it, and I'll tell you what you missed, we'll do that. And we tried that. When he booted up his save, he was like much farther back than he expected. I guess like his most recent attempt, he forgot to save. So he lost like hours of like progress, and he's like, I don't fucking remember what I was doing, dude. I'm not gonna play this game. I give up. And like, I don't blame him, man. Like, it's hard to get through. Like, it's really easy to just like, if I didn't know Persona 5 was gonna turn into the game it did, I don't think I would have gotten through that opening either. And Persona 4 is just as bad, and that was my first Persona game, but the story is like more interesting. At least in my opinion, I think Persona 4 is more interesting.
From the beginning,
So
yeah.
like, yeah, from the beginning, like I think the first 5 or so hours of Persona 4 is more interesting than the first 5 or so hours of Persona 5, which some people will debate, but like, I don't know, man. Like, a murder is more interesting to me than like an abusive high school teacher. It's interesting, don't get me wrong, but watching, like, you're coming out of school one day and there's like someone hanging from a fucking like electrical line,
Yeah.
and you're like, what's going on? Then it happens again, and you're like, what's going on? And the game just, the Persona 4 does a good job of like drip feeding you stuff to keep you hooked.
Even
Persona
Persona
5,
3.
even Persona 3, yeah. Persona 5, not quite as much. And the fact that you physically need to go through the fucking subway, that pissed me off. Like, I had to like learn the subway, and then the game, after that opening, the game just like, oh, here's how you fast travel. So all that memorizing the subway becomes fucking useless after that opening. So I could see why people like didn't like it. And again, if you can't get through it, I don't blame you, but try. It's a good ass game. It's worth that like first hump. I swear to God. But no, Persona 5 is good as fuck.
Yeah, it was on Game Pass for a while, and that's where I was playing it. But I think it's gone now.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Persona 3, the remake was on Game Pass, and when they announced the DLC, I don't know if you guys can get this on PC, but I have Game Pass Ultimate, so I have it on my Xbox too. On the Xbox tab, there's like a tab for perks, and it gives you free shit basically. So sometimes it's like a free movie or like a free month to like a streaming service. Sometimes it's content for games. I booted it up and there was a free download code for the Persona 3 DLC. So that's cool. I got that. And as far as I know, Persona 3 is still on Game Pass, so I have the game and the expansion with it. So that's pretty dope. Honestly, I might just buy the game. So I own all the Persona games, so I might as well own this one too, but I don't know. Persona 3 is like kind of whatever for me. I know they changed a lot of stuff, but I'm still kind of whatever about it. I'll give it another shot though. Yeah, Persona 5 though, good as fuck. Go play it. Now, some shit happened this week. That's why fucking video games, man.
Yeah.
How many layoffs have we had in the last like 2 weeks alone? Like, Microsoft laid off pretty much like everybody that wasn't like Bethesda or like direct like Activision Blizzard. So like Tango Gameworks is getting let go, which pisses me off because they put out, that's the same team that put out a Hi-Fi Rush, and I liked Hi-Fi Rush. And if you didn't like Hi-Fi Rush, you're wrong. But a lot of people did like it. Like, it won awards this game. So the fact that like they're closing down a literal award-winning studio on a game that no one expected a lot from really upsets me. Like, it makes me think, like, if they're not safe, then really who is safe? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's a bummer, man, because I hate how like business oriented the games industry has gotten. Not to say it wasn't always a business, but now it just feels like it's business first, profit over everything. And yeah, if it's not making money, then fucking get rid of it. And it's just
I'll tell
not.
you what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. That games are so fucking expensive to make now. Like,
Yeah,
everybody needs to be this, like, this AAA fucking, like, Last of Us, Final Fantasy VII Remake,
yeah, but
fucking Spider-Man.
even those games
Yeah.
are not profitable. Like
Yeah.
you spend like 200 million on a Spider-Man or a God of War,
Yeah, you make,
and
like, you spend, like, another, like, 50 million, like, marketing it, and you make back, like, 300 million.
yeah,
Like, 6 years of development, fucking all these years of development, all this money towards like marketing, E3, all this time and effort, 50 million profit, which sounds like a lot, but that's not a lot of profit for how big these companies are and how much these games cost to produce. Like, it's it's embarrassing to see this, and the problem is that everyone's racing to make this like bigger, better, more cinematic, more graphically impressive experience. That we get a lot of these copy paste like game designs that we shit on. You and I have shit on quite a few of them. But for
it's
some reason, the industry thinks that's all that they need. That's what they need to make money, and it's frustrating.
because those games are just historically easy to sell people on.
Yeah,
Like it's easy to just look at those and go, "Wow," and then like
yeah,
it's not easy to like look at a
Hi-Fi
Power
Rush.
World or something, or even a Hi-Fi Rush, and know like and sell people on that. And not just sell people on that game, but sell a console to people so they can play that game. I think is the big thing because
Yeah,
they
but it's
want
still
like a
like
system seller.
literally Nintendo's been doing their own thing for so long, and they're fine, dude. Like
Yeah, because
Nintendo,
Nintendo
I
makes
got to
games
an
that
outlier. Yeah,
you can only get those games on Nintendo,
right. But
and
I'll also argue they make games. Their attention is to make a fun game first. Like,
yeah,
they're not trying to make this like, this huge cinematic. I fucking hate that games are cinematic now. By the way, I'm just gonna throw that out there. If I
yeah,
want something cinematic, when I watch a fucking movie, dude, I want to play a game. Like, I'm not saying games can't have a good story or you can't like try to replicate movies in them, but I'm over the hype of like this game's like a movie. Like, I'm over it.
again, I think that stuff is just easy to sell to people.
Yeah.
Like people know, like whenever my mom sees like a game trailer these days, she's like, "Oh my god, it looks so real. That's a game." And like, yeah, they've
Yeah.
yeah, they've been doing it this way for quite some time. So, but that's the thing. It's like it's people see that and they go, "Holy shit, looks like a
Yeah.
movie," and they
Yeah. I
think it's a
remember.
movie. She's actually tried to watch me play games as if they were movies, and I'm like, okay, here's the part where it's a game now. There's gonna be several hours of this before you see some movie again. Uh, like I think it was like Metal Gear Solid 4 or something. She tried to
Oh
like
god,
watch.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is like, that's a fucking event. That game's
Yeah.
fucking boring to watch. Like, I'll argue that game's boring to play sometimes. When you get to the fucking like hour plus long cutscenes.
Yeah.
The game is like, it's a 20-hour game. It's got 10 hours of cutscenes. Like, it's insane, that game.
Yeah.
Um, I'm exaggerating. It's like 30 hours and 10 hours is cutscenes. Like a third of the game is
No,
cutscenes. It's ridiculous.
most of it is cutscene. I think.
Yeah. Oh, I was being
I've like
generous then. I remembering.
I've speedrun that game. You can skip the cutscenes and like finish that game in a few hours. That
That's
game's not very
frustrating.
long. Yeah.
That's frustrating. I remember when like Uncharted came out, my dad was pitching it like, I feel like I'm playing an action movie, which is cool, but look at like that trend that's like created now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the thing. That's those. So you really want to know what the problem is. The problem is the PS4 and Xbox One. Those are the
Yeah.
problems because they're still making games for those platforms. Those platforms are still too profitable to not make games for. So they're still making games for them. Except
Yeah.
for like the huge, big fucking. But most like multi-platform game, like those games are still like in this. If this was still like the PS3 or PS2 era, like we're like multiple years within this like current
Yeah.
gen,
Yeah,
and
we're
you're
at a point where like you expect nothing to be coming out for those systems, but
yeah,
they are still being launched for them because you're right, it's profitable.
and people are just hanging on to these like live service games for way longer. Like I feel like the whole market has changed to where now you've got live service games that you can just play forever. Um, Kids, I was talking about this with like Clay last night. Where
Yeah,
like I feel like there's two audiences because people don't actually people don't actually care about video games,
yeah,
which is sad to say, but like I feel like there's a lot of truth in that because people who play games are only like it's like the kids who all they play is like four games. They play like Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, and
maybe
like some others.
FIFA or something.
Yeah. Or no, and then you have like adults where all they play is like Madden and Call of Duty, FIFA. They play like one game a year, and then in between you have like I feel like is the minority of people who just enjoy fucking video games and just play like or just enjoy video games. I feel like that's a
Yeah,
minority. So when Game Pass came out, I feel like it was like perfect for that minority of people who just wanted to play games. But it's not perfect for the guy who only plays Call of Duty every year, or the guy that just plays
hmm
Madden, or the kid that just wants to play Fortnite and Roblox with their friends. Like there's like I feel like those extremes are not extreme anymore. Like those are the majority of people, and the extreme is now the people who want to play like Hi-Fi Rush and you know Ghost of Tsushima or whatever. Like I feel like um yeah, there's just not many people who would that are like the real target audience for Game Pass. And I feel like that's where shit's getting
yeah,
fucked. And now I
yeah.
feel
It's a
like they've
combination of things. It's like the over businessification. That's not a word, but I'm making it one. Of video games, it's how bloated and expensive game development is. And you're right. So the audience is shifting, and a big part of that is because the game industry is trying to like change how we play games too. And
like it's all live
that's
service stuff. They found out
yeah,
that they can just make one game, milk that game for 10 plus years, and that's way more cost effective than make putting out new games every like 5 years or whatever.
yeah. And a big part of that is because like you have games like Fortnite that have like done so well. So when everyone else trying to replicate it, and like I'm sure there's a lot of gamers growing up that like Fortnite's their first game. So
Yeah.
and internet connection's a lot more common now than it was when like we were growing up. So like that's kind of the standard for a lot of people. Like I'm gonna play through one game, probably a free to play game, and just like sink money into that with like content updates or something.
Or even just when all your friends and peers are playing that game as well, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, we all have to play this because it's like culturally significant in a way
Yeah.
that yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's frustrating to see that shift. Um, and it's leading to these like closures now. Like I said, you can have Tango GameWorks, a literal like award-winning company, not safe from these layoffs. But I'm
Yeah,
sure if they had put out like
but it's like no
a
one's safe,
fucking
like because
yeah,
this Xbox shit happened, but
yeah,
just I think early this year or late last year, Sony like laid off a bunch of like Naughty Dog guys.
yeah,
Bungie's kind of fucking up lately, but that's besides the point. Um, like even Sony had their layoffs. They closed
yeah,
Deviation Games. Like even Sony's getting it, and they're always touting how, oh, we're breaking records with the PS5. Oh, we're selling hotcakes, man. Oh, God of War, the fastest selling PlayStation game of all time. And it's just like, yeah, if you can be that successful and still suffer from layoffs, then what the fuck is actually happening here?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see like a business analysis of it. I want to see like an actual, like maybe someone who's not a gamer, but someone who's like a business analyst, like look at like these trends and see what's going on. Because there's probably a lot happening with it. I'm sure like we could speculate on all we want, but I don't really know like what's causing it. Um, what do you want, Booger? What's up, bud? Oh shit! Why'd you do that, dude? I told you, bro. Jumped off my lap. He was on my lap and he jumped off. Hold on. I gotta deal with this 1 second.
Yeah, I feel like I remember the good old days, man. The good old days. And it's kind of weird seeing what kind of games I really fucking get into. Like I talked about this while we were playing Hi-Fi Rush the other day. Like there's something about these like smaller fucking indie games that I find it so much easier to just attach to just lose myself in. Like most recently, Mini Shoot Adventures. If you haven't played Mini Shoot Adventures on Steam, fucking go over there. It's $15. One of the best games of the year. But like even just like within the past week, all these fucking indie games came out, overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and they're just doing very well. Like I'm glad that people are really these indie studios can put out, you know, a passion project, something they really care about, without the intervention of a large third party, and just put out these games like Animal Well, uh, Balatro. You know, all these fucking indie games came out this year that were just doing extremely fucking well. Um, Dread Delusion came out the other day. Braid got a anniversary edition re-release. Mullet Matt Jack came out. There's just so many indie games that are coming out that are fucking incredible. And now I'm like, well, these studios are probably or less likely to sell their studios now, given the current situation of how they get treated. Man, it's just like not. Why would you like if you care about your studio? You're probably just not gonna sell it if you know that this is potentially what's gonna happen. Like it's gonna be in the claws of the fucking corporate, and you're gonna have to like answer to higher ups and have way more profit. Just have more shit to worry about. Like you're not gonna just be able to do whatever the fuck you want. You're not gonna have the control you want anymore. You're just gonna have to answer to a bunch of suits. You're gonna be on your ass about fucking okay. Well, what are the profits? What are we expecting? Um, I just feel like they don't have to do that. I feel like, well, I don't know. I don't know shit about game development, but I would rather crowdfund. I would rather just fucking give my money to a studio that I know is gonna do right, rather than have them think about selling their studio. Um, but you know, I just want to go back to the good old days, man, where everyone just cared about fucking making a good video game, and that's all it was. You can just buy a game and just be a game. You didn't have to connect to the internet. There was no fucking subscriptions. There was no DLC. There was no microtransactions. All the content was in the game. The game was finished. They didn't have to patch it. Um, you know, I feel like Microsoft had a good idea with Game Pass. I feel like they had good intentions there too. I don't think the audience was quite where I don't think the audience was there in terms of people who just want to play games, man. Like when they put Call of Duty when they eventually put Call of Duty on Game Pass, what's gonna happen? I feel like no one is gonna play it on Game Pass. They're just gonna they're just gonna buy it on Steam because what do PC people want? Nothing. They just want Steam. Like I don't get it. I don't get the PC motherfuckers who just never touch Epic. They never touch anything outside of Steam. You know, there's all this good shit outside of Steam. They just don't give a fuck. Um, I don't understand. So you know, the PC people aren't gonna fuck with Call of Duty on Game Pass. You know, even Diablo's on there now. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's playing Diablo on Game Pass. It's on there. Diablo's on Game Pass, people. Um, but yeah, I just don't think anyone. I don't think anyone cares. So then, like, they're not going to buy it on Game Pass, and they're just going to buy it, and they're not going to buy a console for Call of Duty either. Or if they are, they're just going to play it on their fucking PlayStations because they've promised that Call of Duty is going to be multi-platform. Like in any case, Xbox is going to lose here. I'm so curious of how they're going to evolve in the future because they're already teasing a new console, the greatest leap in technology you've ever seen in a console generation. Okay, I just don't care. I just don't. I do not care. I don't care. I don't see why anyone would care.
Yeah, I'm like so far removed from my consoles right now. Like it's if
Well, it just
it's
especially an
not on PC, I
Xbox
don't care.
console.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have an Xbox specifically so I can play like these older games that aren't available on anything else. But after that, like I don't have a reason to play a console.
Like I feel like Microsoft were trying to do something with Game Pass. They seemed very pro gaming and legitimately. I feel like they were very legitimate about that. But that's the problem. Is this? I don't feel like people just care about games.
Yeah, the
I don't,
market doesn't care about just
and that's
gaming for the
why
fun of gaming anymore.
like you could say yeah, it's a bummer they had to close fucking Tango, but in reality people didn't fucking buy that game, man. Like it could review all you want, it could be overwhelmingly positive on Steam all you want. The reality is people just didn't buy it.
I could have
Like
sworn it was like very profitable. Like
they claimed it
especially
was. I mean, they don't show the numbers like that, but they claimed it was. But if it was really as they claimed, then they wouldn't have closed the studio because it would have been actually profitable. Um,
yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see like the actual like metrics for this.
um, yeah, like I just don't think that stuff really moved the needle for them in a way that they were hoping, and that's because it just wasn't selling. It just people just weren't really buying it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
that
know.
makes sense.
Like retroactively looking back looking back at Hi-Fi Rush, you can look at it and um
Looking back at it.
um you can kind of see that it just wasn't. It was like people were fans of it, but I just feel like I wonder if we can pull up the Steam charts and just see how because I'm gonna bet there's like a spike in activity once they shut it down, and then people were like reverse review bombing it, or they were giving it very positive reviews after they shut down. But
yeah, I'm sure Tango's like, where the fuck was all this support?
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying.
We were
Like
still liquid.
I don't think it was there before that.
There's always a lot of issues with the gaming industry in general. A part of it could be like market expectations now, and like audience expectations, like who's actually buying and playing these consoles and games now. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I don't like know the concrete problem is. I don't know what the concrete answer is, but we've been saying forever, like the industry the way it is right now is like unsustainable. With how much like game development costs now, and how much time and work goes into making these like huge experiences that are fun. They're fun, and they're a way for people to try to justify like their $500 console and their $70 game purchase, but it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
See, looking at this chart for it, it looks like it peaked. It looks like it peaked when it launched, and then drastically fell shortly after that. I mean, even around like Game of the Year time, when it was like in those discussions, it didn't really move the needle that much. These are crazy numbers. I mean, only like these are just Steam numbers, but the game is only on PC and Xbox, so. But it's just great. Like no one gave a fuck about this game until it like shut down, and now people are like, oh yeah. But even then, it's still not that high. Still not that high compared to where it was when it launched. But it is higher. It is higher than it was. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I just don't I don't think it's just where you think it was, even though people enjoyed the game.
I mean, we'll just keep our eye open, see like what other closures are coming down the pipeline, right? Like
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory, you think so?
Hellblade, yeah.
Oh, with the Hellblade, yeah.
They announced that game when they teased the Series X. That's what the game they used to tease that with.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
That game's like it wasn't even a Halo. Like it wasn't even a Halo. Not even a Gears of War. It was Hellblade. So I'm hoping that game is the greatest game ever made. Otherwise, they're fucked.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, we'll see what happens with it, but with the delays on it, and I don't think Ninja Theory's work on anything else. Like
they did a MOBA game and then canceled it and shut it down.
Oh yeah, that Killing Edge game, is that it or something else?
Yeah, Bleeding Edge, yeah. So that happened in between this.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with them. Like that you're putting that on your bingo card though, Ninja Theory.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a bummer again, but I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that game does fucking numbers, man. There's just no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
Especially since it's not multi-platform. It's only Xbox and PC. So no one's gonna. Well, see, it's a perfect Game Pass game. from what I hear, it's like short. I hear it's short enough to like it used to be a perfect Game Pass game, but it's not going to make anyone. It's not going to make anyone subscribe to Game Pass if they haven't already been.
No, I agree.
It's not going to make anyone buy a console, and fucking if you're a PC gamer, you don't give a fuck about Game Pass. You're just going to get it on Steam because that's all you care about is Steam shit.
I mean, I got Game Pass exclusively on PC initially. That's how I started, and then after that, I went and bought an Xbox like afterwards. Like, you know, I it hit me as Microsoft intended it to, right? Like that was their plan.
Yeah.
Oh, we get these PC players in, and maybe they go buy an Xbox after, and they work with me.
But they intend people to stay subscribed. But I feel like what a lot of people are also doing is just subscribing for the one game they want, so they only have to pay like $15 for like the new hotness, and then play it for a month and then unsubscribe. Which is what I did. I did that for like the Ubisoft shit. Like there was a string there when like Watch Dogs came out, Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out, and Immortals came out like in 1 month, and I was like, I'm subscribed for all three of those. Fuck it, play that shit. But
yeah. So we'll see what happens with Game Pass then, if they have to like restructure it or if it's even gonna be around any longer. Because it's a good idea on paper, but the way the market's trending, I don't think it's gonna work the way they're intending it to.
yeah. So give your money to the indies, guys. Play if there's a fucking indie game that you like or seems interesting, just fucking support the indies, because don't, or otherwise they're gonna have to sell their souls to the corporations, and you don't want that. You just don't want that. So
no, you don't want that. People complain about like all those indie games being Epic exclusives, like. You know, if you don't want that to happen, it's because they have to. If you don't want that to happen, then support those indies. Man. And some quickie news: Assassin's Creed Shadows got announced.
Yeah.
Which that was a cool cinematic, but what the fuck is the game gonna play like? Based on the cinematic, I assume it's gonna be like Syndicate, where there's 2 playable characters.
Yeah, they gave a lot of info. There's gonna be 2 characters. One of them has been very controversial. Basically,
is
there's
the Yasuke character? Yeah.
Everyone's
like, I don't think they confirmed it, but that's Yasuke. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Or did they confirm it?
No, yeah. They put out a lot of info on this. So that's Yasuke. He's a black samurai.
Who is historically accurate, by the way. That's like a person. That's a person who existed.
Yeah, they've said he was like, I appreciate Ubisoft for trying to remain historically accurate in like all their games. Like that's what Assassin's Creed has become. It's become like a historical, you know, their version of like Metal Gear, where they can insert their fiction into historically accurate times. So I appreciate that they at least try to do that.
What's weird though is that this is the first time we've had a real historical figure be a playable character in an Assassin's Creed game, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Like the games have always been like, you know, here's your character with these historical events happening around them. You work in the shadows. You've never played as like George Washington or Leonardo da Vinci or you know, any one of these like historical characters. You worked alongside them. So is that where the controversy is coming from, or is it just because he's a black guy in a video game?
It's just a black guy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, yeah, it's a black samurai, and people don't understand how there's a black samurai. But I don't know. They explain. There's like another set of videos where they explain the characters. And yeah, so it's like two. It's like a syndicate thing, but also they serve like different purposes because uh, the samurai is a more upfront combat guy, and then the girl, I think her name is Nasume. I think she's like
Yeah.
the stealth shinobi ninja character.
Yeah. I think Syndicate
So
did the same thing. Like the brother was the upfront, like close quarters fighter guy, and the sister was the stealth character.
yeah, so it's cool. I mean, people have been asking for this Assassin's Creed Japan, so
Like that shit writes itself, man. Like, well, we kind of already got that with like Tenchu, Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm sure there's like, other Japanese stealth
yeah.
games, but whatever.
Ghost of Tsushima is probably it's like the best example. That game is so good that
Yeah.
I can't imagine that this. I mean, whatever. It's fucking Assassin's Creed. People are gonna fucking buy it, but
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is like so fucking good. Um, like if you haven't played it, it does what you want Assassin's Creed to do, but it's also so much more compact. You know,
I
like
like that.
it respects your time.
That's good. I like
Yeah.
that. That's good. I like that.
But
I'm just
maybe
I'm too old to be playing these long ass games, man. I say that as I'm playing Persona 5. But
maybe this one's gonna be like shorter than like Valhalla. Valhalla was just egregious with how
yeah.
long it was. But maybe they learned with like Mirage. Maybe they've learned to kind of hone it in a little.
I don't
Um,
want smaller games. I want more focused. Like,
yeah,
I want a game that knows what it wants to do, has a tight beginning, middle, end, doesn't overstay its welcome. Like,
yeah,
I want a game I'm gonna finish. I don't want a game I'm gonna put down because I get bored of it. And I do that with a lot of Ubisoft games.
um,
Like Far Cry 5, I fucking love Far Cry 5. And when it was on Game Pass, I loved it so much I went and bought it because I was like, I'm gonna play the shit out of this game. And I put it down a couple weeks later because there's so much shit to do. I got bored of it.
but that's why I've been like fucking with the indies, man. There's
Yeah,
something about these indie games that just fucking grab me in a way that these AAA games just do not. Like I said,
yeah,
mini shoot adventure, dude. It's crazy how like much time I lose, how much I lose myself in these games. Where I'm
yeah,
like, oh shit, you know, look at the time. It's like, oh, I've been playing this for fucking 17 hours, and it's like, holy shit. Um,
yeah. My
but
brother's the same way. I caught him playing like Binding of Isaac the other day, and
yeah,
I'm like, "Are you still playing that?" He's like, "Yeah, he's had that game for like 5 years. He's still playing it."
yeah. I don't really get that from these AAA games anymore. Only
Yeah,
because
same.
like there's too much fluff, man. There's too many cutscenes. There's too much dialogue. There's too much like I like that, but again, it goes back into I don't need every game to be a fucking movie, man. I just rather watch a movie if that's what you're gonna do to me. Um,
Even then, it's like the open world formula for these games are so like annoying, and they're built specifically to just like pad out runtime. I hate it.
yeah, yeah. Um, that's why like I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is a good balance between that shit because it's open world, but it's not like there's two islands, but you don't even unlock the second island until you finish the first island, or like story wise. So like, it keeps things separated in which where you know it's like GTA almost, where you know you only have access to like a certain contained area before you can unlock the rest of it. So by the time that second area unlocks, you're done with the first area and you just move
See,
on.
I like that. I like that. I like a contained area I can memorize. You know,
Yeah,
Dead Rising is perfect for that. Like it's a huge like mall, but it's so small you could like memorize it, develop your own shortcuts, and you know how the fastest way to get to places and what to experience. And it's with these other open world games, I feel like I'm just like going through procedural content. Is what it feels like. And it's probably not the case. That's what it feels like because it's so big. I'm not like really memorizing anything in the world. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
yeah,
paying attention to these landmarks or anything. because it's so big and the game just like commodifies so much of the content that there's no incentive for me to like kind of memorize the environment or the layout or anything. But then again, you have a game like Dead Rising, which isn't really an open world game, but it's definitely a sandbox game where you have these. It's a big environment, but it's compact enough you could like memorize it. And the environment, the world itself becomes another character for you, not just a means to like produce content. And that's what I want to see more of. And we're not getting that with these big AAA games anymore. So, yeah. Hopefully, this new Assassin's Creed like does well. Hopefully.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. Like, we'll see what happens.
The world we're in now, the state that games are in now, I feel like none of these are like, unless it's like a live service fucking bullshit game. It's just not. It's just not.
Yeah. And next we got community game help. I didn't check this link out. What is this?
Okay, so remember when the PS5 launched and they were like, hey, if you're playing Little Big Planet or whatever the fuck it's called, Sackboy's Big Adventure, you can hit this button to give hints on what to do next.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was like a thing. What's happened to that?
So that shit's only supported by select games.
Yeah.
And for the record, so is this, by the way. So I don't know what games support any of this, but the idea behind this little update is that now if the game doesn't have like a supported help thing, you can opt into having your gameplay recorded, and you can have you can look at other people's footage to see what they did in a spot that you might be stuck on.
Oh yeah?
So it's basically just community help based on just, it records your footage and then other people can look at your footage to help them in a part that they're stuck in. If that part.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I can get behind that. And it keeps it within the ecosystem of like PlayStation, so you're not having to like whip your phone out, like go to YouTube or something and look up a tutorial.
And fucking, I like how people defend this or defend like against it, saying that, well, you just go on YouTube and just pull up a tutorial. Have you ever fucking done that? Have you ever tried to go on YouTube and just fucking find a video that's not a guy that like, hey guys, I'm gonna fucking what's up guys? We're gonna check out. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and we're gonna like.
If you guys don't know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out back in like 20 blah 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 blah. I don't want
anyone talking. I don't want to have to like find the spot that I'm at. I just want to fucking pull a thing up and just have it there, and then no one's talking. I just want to see what I need to do. This is that. This is that exactly. It just knows where you are. You pull up the video, and it's exactly where you are, and you just have it. Like I fucking hate the YouTube shit. 'Cause there's always someone with their webcam on. It's like, all right, guys, I know. Like, he takes like 3 times the amount to explain and introduce the video than it takes for me to just see it and know what the fuck I need to do. It's so annoying. I hate that fucking YouTube shit. So yeah, this is way better in my opinion. But
yeah, I agree.
If you go to
it's like you said, it's like a thing where like it's like a minute to explain thing, but it's like a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
Like attached to it.
Now if you go to the YouTube announcement of this feature, there's a like to dislike ratio, and all the comments are just fucking stupid motherfuckers. Just like, after all these years, still no revival of PS Home. My guy,
that's not even relevant, man. Why are you bringing that up?
Bring back themes. I'm guessing this isn't a free service, which it is, by the way. You don't have to subscribe to anything to use this.
That's a dumb fucking. Did you see a price tag there, motherfucker? Like, come on. Jesus.
Like all the comments are like just PlayStation fanboys upset about random bullshit. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Maybe they announced this during the Helldivers shit, and they were like, "Wow, you guys aren't. You're just ignoring the Helldivers shit." Because maybe that's what it was, and they were just trying to get their voices heard on the Helldivers shit. But most of these comments are just unrelated. When PS5 Pro? Question mark. Remember the days when you had to buy a magazine for hints and tips? LOL. This is the cheapest. This is the cheapest way to sell us an illusion of service. I just don't understand these comments.
What the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean? The cheapest way. Elaborate on that. Like.
Yeah. Why y'all keep doing stuff nobody asked for? Nah, I'll just go to Reddit. This one's just guys just laughing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like this
is fucking weird, man. Like,
this is a really cool thing that I wish more shit did.
Yeah.
Like the closest thing to this, I think, is like on Steam. Steam has like a little help thing that you can pull up, the community guides thing. Which is really cool.
And like that's the thing. Like Steam's always had that. Like, you could literally just pull up like community guides on Steam and like see what other people have talked about, like on Steam.
Yeah. And
no one's complaining about that. Like, I don't know.
It's just because the game help thing. The biggest part of this is in supported games.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part. So then you're like, okay, well, what games are supported? Or the only game they showed here is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, I think.
Oh, that looks so good. I'm so sad that's not coming to Xbox or PC yet.
No, it's on PC.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll check it out then. I thought it was just on PlayStation.
No, it's on PC. Check it out now.
But that game looked good.
But that's the thing. They're showing it like in supported games. So the question is, okay, well, what the fuck is supported? And how many games are going to be supported? When they show that help thing, that's the thing is they have these features, but they're only in supported titles. So how many of them are supported? And
that's a weird feature to like limit support for. Like,
yeah,
because like I could understand like you could argue like, well, Microsoft has a bunch of games that are like Xbox is lousy with features that like not everything takes advantage of, but they're all like technical features that like makes sense. It's not 100% guaranteed. Stuff like 4K support, frame rate improvements for like older games, crossplay support, play anywhere. Like,
yeah,
it makes sense. There's like a technical thing behind that, or like a licensing thing behind that stops those all from being features. But this feels like if it's on PlayStation, it should be a feature. It's weird to me that it's not.
And just no one's talking about this. This makes me wanna. This makes me want to buy a PS5 just so I can be the one channel on YouTube that's actually exploring this feature, because fucking nobody is. Like, it's some of the shit that I like to do on this channel is like, oh, there's some new shit out. You know, like I did like a Amazon Luna stream before fucking anyone. Like I looked at like fucking like Stadia. I did all this shit before fucking anyone did it.
Yeah.
By the way, and yeah, it's just not having these consoles. It really limits the type of shit that I can do. But I don't know. I don't want to buy a PS5. I just don't want. I just don't want one. It'd be a complete waste of money. So,
yeah, I agree. I've never wanted a PS5.
Even the PS5 fan owners in the comments here are like, there was one who was like, "Where's the PS5 games?" I'm like, there's no one more upset at PS5 than the people who own a PS5. PS5 needs more games. Please remaster the first 2 Infamous games. Spearhead new projects. Like. It's
like, buddy, they just shut down a bunch of studios. Like, you're not gonna see shit for a while. Like,
yeah. So
That's why stuff like this like reinforces my decision. I came across some money recently, and I could buy a PS5 or I could upgrade my PC, and I upgraded my PC.
Yeah,
And
good choice.
yeah, that was a much better. Yeah, that was a great choice, fantastic choice. Like and stuff like this that reinforces it. Am I sad I won't get to play Spider-Man yet? Yeah, but I'm not out like $500, for a game that like I could play on my PC.
So, I'm just saying, guys, you can go to gameoverse.com/tip and give us some money, and then maybe we'll buy a PS5 and be able to do stuff that the
Some more
rest of the
accurate shit
people
talking.
are not doing. Yeah. Just saying. By the way, like I never like advertise the money jar, or like maybe more. I should more, but I don't know, man. I just feel like I feel like we're doing things better than most people, and it's not to say that
Yeah. I mean, we're not like the most frequent uploaders. Like, we're not trying to follow like all the biggest trends, but I'm happy in what we do. I'm proud of what
I do shit out of my own pocket, man, just so I don't have to answer to fucking the higher ups at Twitch. I don't want anyone to control what we do here, man. Like again, we're the indies, right? And like big Twitch and big Google are like the major corporations that I'm not trying to sell out to, all right? That's why we're not in the Twitch fucking partner program, because it forces ads on the viewers.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to watch a forced advertisement that we're not even getting a cut of. I don't want anyone to buy Twitch bits and fucking all that shit, because Twitch takes like half of that shit. Like if you really want to support anyone, that's not just us, but like anyone on Twitch or anyone on YouTube, don't do it through Twitch and YouTube. Like give it to them directly, because Google and fucking Amazon are fucking the biggest corporations in the world, and they're taking, if you want your money to go to your favorite like streamer or whatever content creator, you got to give it directly to them, because Google and Amazon are going to take like half of their shit, and you don't want that. You don't want that. So
no, you don't.
I'm not just speaking.
That's why
for
I'm
us.
happy with what we do too. Like I'm happy with what we're doing too. I'm sure if we like played the algorithm right, like played by Twitch's rules, covered the most popular games that come out, right? I'm sure we could like break into it pretty easily, but that doesn't sound fun to me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to play that game at all.
Yeah.
I'm fine just talking about games I want to talk about, and people who want to listen to it, great. Awesome. More power to you. I love that.
Yeah, there's stuff on YouTube. You weren't here the other day, but I attacked I don't want to say attacked, but I reacted to another YouTuber. I never do this. But they were talking some shit. They were talking some shit on Jim Sterling's video about should you have to finish a game before reviewing it. And they were just wrong. Dude. It was a whole panel of motherfuckers, and they all agreed with each other. Like no one had an original opinion. And yeah, so if you want to watch that, that's on YouTube. It was about 2 hours long of me just shitting on these guys. What was
the consensus? Just like you have to finish a game to review it, or?
The background is Jim Sterling put up a review of Tears of the Kingdom, like last 2 years ago, last year, whenever that game came out. They put up a review of Tears of the Kingdom, in which nowhere in the review did they say that they didn't finish the game. However, the screenshots that they posted with the review only had like 6 or 7 hearts. So people were like, this guy only has 6 hearts. You didn't even finish the game. You only have 6 hearts. So this narrative came out that they didn't finish the game. They might not have finished the game, but is that even a problem? Like if you play 90% of a game, your opinion's not going to change in that like last 10%. Like, let's say that's all they played. Your opinion's not going to change. You have your thoughts are your thoughts.
I mean, it
Like, if
depends on the game. Like,
it depends on the
I'm
game,
sure.
but
I'm sure if you played Nier Automata one time, you got just the first playthrough, right? You couldn't write a review on that. At least not a fair one. But I see what you mean. Like, I used to be in the camp that like, oh no, if you're gonna have an opinion on a game, you got to finish it. But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, it's fucking stupid. Like, you can figure out the first couple hours if a game's for you or not. Like,
yeah.
and if it
But
takes forever for the game to get going, like that's the game's fault, not yours. Like, that's why I was mentioning earlier. Like, if you fell out of Persona because the fucking opening takes like 5-10 hours, and you just base your whole opinion of the game on that, I'm not gonna blame you for it. That's a lot of fucking time to be investing for a game to get good. I get it.
yeah, it's just they brought up a lot of fucking dumbass fucking points, and I live reacted to this thing, so I did not like watch it beforehand. I watched it
Yeah.
live and reacted to it, and every time they brought up a dumb fucking point, I I I never do this. I don't like attacking people, but I just had to. I watched like the first like 5 minutes of it on my own, and I was like, I have to react to this live because I have so much to say. So
Yeah, some opinions need to be called out, man. Some dumbass opinions need to be like called out.
so please go to YouTube and check that out. Also, engage with our stuff on YouTube. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a fucking video on there of a full playthrough of Parappa the Rapper, and I swear it's like ruining our like numbers, or it's like fucking up the algorithm, because that video for whatever reason is extremely successful. It gets like thousands of views like every day, comments every day, and it just ruins all my other shit on the channel because YouTube thinks no one wants to watch any of the other shit. They only want to watch Parappa, so it just feeds that. So please, if you're like on YouTube, just like watch and engage with our shit. Like leave a comment or a like. I never say this, but it actually fucking, you just have to play the fucking game. Like that's the problem. You just have to play the game. So if I don't say that you have to do that, you really fucking have to do it. Like if you watch anything on there, you have to watch the video to the end. You have to fucking hit the like button and you have to comment on it. You just have to, or it just ruins. Like no one's gonna see the shit. So I have to say, I had to have a little tangent there to say that shit because it's just annoying me how fucking. I think I'm just gonna delete that Parappa video, man. It really is problematic. It really is. Because the way the algorithm works, it's like, oh, they really want to watch this and they don't give a fuck about your other shit, so we're not gonna feed people your other shit because it's just no one wants to watch it. But
you
in
could
reality,
like private it and then like bring it back once like everything else so swings up. But yeah,
that might be what I do. I don't know. Yeah, it's annoying. But I don't know. You can help if you just, I don't know, in our other shit, just like watch it, like it, comment on it, just whatever you got to do. We'll try that first.
yeah. Let's try that first. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, Xbox has a new controller, Proteus, for disabled gamers.
Yeah, actually, I looked into this. It's just it's an Xbox like branded third-party controller.
Oh yeah.
So I think this controller has existed, but now they're partnering with Xbox to do an Xbox version. This thing looks awesome, man. I might actually buy one just for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like a super modular controller, so you can kind of just, it's built
Oh
like
yeah.
cubes, and you can kind of just put anything wherever you want it and kind of just assemble it however you want. So you can actually make it look like and feel like just a normal controller if you want.
This straight up looks like some Shikai shit from like Zelda.
It really does, yeah.
I know this is cool. Like I like stuff like this, honestly, because gaming is such an important hobby to me that I can't imagine. It's sad to me that not everybody has access to play a game, right? Like whether it's money or disabilities, right? It bums me out that like there are some people I'll never get to experience like what it's like to enjoy gaming as a hobby due to a number of factors. So anything that like
Yeah.
lowers that barrier of entry for people, I'm for it. I'm for it, man. I got a father-in-law who's he loves playing video games, but because of some disabilities, he doesn't have the motor functions in his hand like he used to. He can play some like lighter games. He plays on easy. Like his favorite games like Skyrim. It's a very like light game. You can play it on easy. There's a lot of stuff to do in it that doesn't require too much from you. But a game like I bought him Red Dead, and he was like, I can't play this game. It asks too much. Like,
Yeah.
But he likes like Witcher. Like that's another one that's like put it on easy. Like it does a lot of the work for you. So anything that like that has that allows people to experience games like that, I'm okay with. I'm 100% behind it. And this is cool, man. This is cool to see.
So it's a $300 controller, which is fucking expensive. But it's such a niche thing that I guess they just have to, charge a premium for it so they actually get their money. There's probably more like engineering work than obviously a normal controller. So
I was gonna say like the engineering work that goes into it to make it like customizable, to have pieces that work like that to be customizable like that, in order to come off to work off each other, while still maintaining whatever the licensing cost is to operate a third-party controller on an Xbox console.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's not cheap. Like, I mean, standalone controllers themselves are like $70. Fight stick is like 150, so it's not that big of a stretch to like consider something like this would be 200.
Yeah.
But again, I'm for it, man. Anything that lowers that barrier of entry for people, I'm for it.
It looks awesome because it uses Hall effect. It uses Hall effect sensors, which
yes.
I'm looking for an Xbox controller that does that, and this is the official Xbox licensed controller. So anyway, I don't know if I paid $300 for it though, but I'll just wait for the Elite 3.
There you go.
Yeah.
And game releases. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut comes out on PC today.
Yes.
Go check that out if you haven't played it yet. I haven't played it. I'll probably pick it up eventually when it goes on sale or something.
Oh, I didn't put any links here. My bad.
That's Lorelei and the Laser Eyes comes out on PC and Switch today. Robo Beat comes out on PC today.
That sounds like a rhythm game. Let me look at that real quick. Sounds like that might be a rhythm game. Shoot to the rhythm.
Ooh.
Oh, it's an FPS. Yeah, it was on FPS rhythm games.
That's cool. I'm fine with that. Fucking Hellsinger was a fucking banger. I love that game.
Yeah. These games for me always depend on how good the music is.
Yeah, you're not a metal fan, so I think Hellsinger was like a top sell for it.
No, I'm a metal. I like some metal.
Oh yeah? Like music in Hellsinger or?
Yeah. No, the Hellsinger music is fine.
Yeah.
I just didn't have. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. They brought up 3 games that. They brought up BPM, Ultra Kill, and Dusk here. These are not the same guys, is it? No, it's not. Maybe it just has those soundtracks in it. I don't know. Anyway, that's Robo Kill. Robo Beat.
Say that BPM wasn't good. But yeah, Robo Beat. I might check this out. This looks pretty dope. We also got Hysteria coming out on PC May 16th. May 20th, we got World of Warcraft Catalysm Classic dropping on PC. And then Tuesday, May 21st, you got Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters dropping on Xbox One and Series X.
Finally.
Yes. The long-awaited Sisters vs. Sisters.
Yes.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 drops PC and Xbox Series X. I'm curious to see what happens with that.
Super curious.
Yeah. System Shock drops on PC, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. X Defiant drops on PC, PS5, and Series X. Which one was X Defiant? Was that MOBA shooter from Ubisoft?
No, X Defiant is the Call of Duty style shooter, where there's different factions from each of their games. There's a Far Cry faction, there's a DedSec faction, and they all have different abilities.
Was it Call of Duty like or Counter Strike? I'm trying to remember.
A little of both. I mean, they have different modes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
they definitely had like a Counter Strike-esque mode in there, but it was more Call of Duty.
Yeah, I remember this one. It's got like, I'm trying to remember this one, but I know what you're talking about. And then Wednesday we got Wuthering Waves dropping on PC and
yeah.
And that's gonna be it for the game releases. Check out X Defiant. I know you all been waiting for another squad shooter from Ubisoft.
X Defiant is I've played the like early betas of that,
And it's good.
It's pretty good. I don't know why you would play it over Call of Duty, but
I was gonna say, is it gonna have the staying power like Call of Duty, Counter Strike, Rainbow Six Siege?
yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're looking for something
If
different,
you look at all these shooters that we have right now, it's like Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege. I think Battlefield still around.
yeah,
Fucking that Titanfall game. What was it?
Titanfall.
No. It was like in the Titanfall universe. They don't call it Titanfall.
Apex.
Apex, yeah. Apex is a thing. Fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Like X Defiant is it's a little different, but it's like I think one of the big things is there's no skill based matchmaking. So that's one. If you're a Call of Duty fan, you're like, and you just want to fucking trounce noobs, that you can do that in X Defiant. You just want it to be fucking
weird
unfair
feature.
Yeah.
Just
because
you think if like you were good at a game, you'd want to be paired with people who are good too.
Yeah.
So you like have some fun, but whatever.
Yeah. So yeah.
Like I'm sure a win feels good, but not a win against like a bunch of noobs, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand the obsession with that shit, but yeah, some people are. If you actually look at, there were some good videos on people actually analyzing the skill based matchmaking in Call of Duty, and it is very interesting. There was one channel that went pretty in depth with it. Like he made 2 accounts, and then one, it was like a really good account, and he switched to his other account just to see what the differences were. And it has more. It's more going on in Call of Duty matchmaking than you think.
Oh, that's cool. I might check that out then. If you find the video, send the link. I might check that out later.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna do it here.
That's gonna do it. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
For video games, guys, go to our YouTube, gameoverse.com/YouTube, and like, comment, subscribe, like for real.
Yes,
Everyone
please.
fucking says that, but it actually is pretty. You have to say that. I realize you have to say that, or else you get fucked. So that's yeah. So go do that, and go to Discord, gameoverse.com/Discord. Hop in there and chat with us.
Yeah.
Me and Clay had a good discussion about the just Game Pass, Microsoft really. So hop in there and continue that discussion.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please, everybody, come say hi. We're cool.
We got a full playthrough of Indica on the YouTube channel as well. Which
so if you want to watch us get confused and say what the fuck for like 3 hours.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna do it.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Be cool. Be safe. Nice to each other, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.